Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television. I'm Phil Mangiaro here at Federal Plaza. Now we continue our coverage of the big anti-war protest.
Both Democratic and Republican parties support the status quo in the United States. The status quo is capitalism, and they're both capitalist parties, and they will support capitalism no matter what. These are capitalist wars, and when push comes to shove, they're going to line up behind the wars. So that's where we are. Obama was not an agent of change. He was a very skillful politician, he's a very intelligent person, but he's not an agent of change. We need to go outside the political parties to get change.
Voting, once every 4 years is not enough. And I think sometimes we think, well, I voted. That's not enough. That takes about 5 minutes out of our, every 4 years. And so that really is not enough.
Are you going to wait for, some beat-off that you vote for to, put food on your table? Or are you just going to take it because you're hungry? I mean, it's as simple as that.
Obviously, we saw, as with the election of Obama, that going to vote isn't the answer, but that we have to be exercising that right to protest, that right to dissent.
The force that's going to stop the war is a mass movement of the people. The force that's going to get jobs and healthcare and education, stop the budget cuts, that's going to be the people. The Democrats, and we know living in Chicago, the Democrats are doing it, right? The Democrats are doing it in the White House.
Our objective is really to build a movement that's independent of politics as usual.
I would just say capitalism hasn't worked except for the few. But for the great majority of people, it doesn't work. And we know it doesn't work. But how do we join together to imagine something different? We say no to the war. We say no to the kind of violence that our economic system puts on other people as well as our own people. Our newspapers are telling the story of what the State Department wants them to tell and what their advertisers want them to tell. Okay. So we don't get the kind of information that helps people to understand what terrible stripes we're in.
One thing that is a great help to people in this country is to just get more education about what's exactly going on, because the same people that profit from the war own the media.
The corporate media just, gives you a snippet of last night's large march. And if it wasn't for indie media, if it wasn't for the independent media, nobody would know a lot of what we do know.
There needs to be people out in the streets. There needs to be mass visibility of people's anger and outrage.
You have to take a stand. I mean, pacifism has some pretty violent consequences, if you don't take a stand and fight for what you believe in. And, unfortunately, that's how it's got to be sometimes.
Violent or nonviolent? Where would you be on the continuum? Then we say, is it effective or non-effective? So there can be some violent actions that are pretty effective, and we just have to own up to it. They might be. And vice versa, there can be some nonviolent actions that are very effective.
If you're going to get something done, do it, and that's direct action. It's not, chaining yourself to something, getting arrested. It's going out there and bashing the fash. So, taking what's ours. So, no one's going to give it to us, Freedoms aren't given, they're taken.
I think we have to step away from the corporate shopping disease that I think we have here in this country.
We have to change our foreign policy. No matter how many scanners they put at an airport to look at our naked bodies, that's not going to make us safe, but changing our foreign policy will.
The only action is direct action, that's it. Anything else is some spineless liberal garbage.
We're in an immoral, unethical, unjust war against peoples for the benefit of the empire.
You've been watching Chicago Independent Television, a project of the Chicago Independent Media Center Video Collective. The Independent Media Center is a growing worldwide network of media producers, journalists, citizens, and activists, working to put the media in the hands of everyday people and away from corporate and commercial interests. To learn more, visit our website at chicago.indiemedia.org. There you can find out about upcoming Chicago area events and how to get involved in making your own media, including how to help make this very TV show. Thanks for watching. See you next time.